Hi there, how you doing? I've got to talk really quickly because you remember the song by Queen, Under Pressure? Well, I'm under pressure because I've got such a lot to say in this episode, which is called Great Stuff. I said I'd only speak for no more than 15 minutes at a time, hopefully around 10 minutes, because if you speak longer than that, people's ears start to bleed, don't they? And they switch off physically, or they sure switch off mentally. So I've got a lot to say. Going to say it really quick. Although I'm saying it quick, please take it in. If you want to improve your happiness, if you want to find your success, you want to make your dreams come true, I'm telling you stuff from the heart, real stuff that's going to really help you get to where you want to get to in your life. So listen in, buckle in, because here we go at warp speed. The last episode was called Getting the Shit Out of Your Life. If you remember that, I said don't listen to shit, don't talk shit, don't do shit, and don't hang around with shit people. And I said only hang around with only quality people, and make sure that you are only employing in your life a quality mentality. So that's a quick summary of the previous episode. This is the yin to the yang. This is the opposite, the flip side of that get the shit out of your life. This is about doing great stuff in your life. This is the yin to the yang. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about what you need to do to go out and be happy in your life, and will put you on track to go and find your success and to make your dreams come true. If you want to find success and happiness in your life, this is what you got to do. You've just got to listen to great stuff. You've got to talk great stuff. You've got to do great stuff, and you've got to hang around with great people who do great stuff. Now, in episode 2, I broke down the categories and give you a little explanation on them. So I'm going to do just that. I'm just going to break down the categories, and I'm just going to go through what you got to do to listen to great stuff, talk great stuff, do great stuff, and hang around with great people who do great stuff. So here we go. Before I do say here we go and we get into it, just remember that we are talking about you finding your true inner sustained happiness, a great thing to have in your life. It's about you finding yourself, it's about you finding your creativity, and it's about you finding your success and making your dreams come true, baby. So as I said, buckle up and listen in. This is at warp speed. So here we go. First category, listen to great stuff. This is what I'm telling you to do. Make sure that you only listen to positive people, to creative people, to people of motivation. Make time. You've got to make time in your life to listen to inspirational material, music, words, through films or radio, newspapers, books, laptops, etc. Make sure that you are spending time on yourself to develop yourself. Most people don't do this. Most people want to develop themselves in life, but they don't do anything about developing themselves to get the change that they want. Here's a challenge for you. Spend a minimum, and I mean a minimum, of 30 minutes a day working on your development, working on your positive mental attitude, working on your plans to make your dreams come true. Do that every single day. It will reap dividends for you. And one thing you've got to do, or two things you've got to do, is before you go to bed and before you get out of bed, just listen to motivational, inspirational material, because that will stay with you as you sleep, and it will set you up as you get out of bed to go out and have a really positive day. Inspirational people and material is around us wherever we look. If you take the time to look, you will find it in books, in music, in films, from people, friends, colleagues, strangers even. And the biggest tip I got for you is, if you ain't into YouTube, get into YouTube. It's the greatest free tool in the world. You can find all the motivation and inspiration and can-do that you want. All that you want is there on YouTube. Get into it and get really stuck in. Let's get on to the next category. We're now at 3-4 minutes. I said make sure that you are only talking great stuff. And this takes some doing, this takes some training, because you have a default position you to be negative, to just read negativity into things that come to you in your life. It is not your fault. It was put into you by life. It's a culture in you to look on the darker side, especially when something comes to you with a bit of fear attached. Oh my God, what's going to happen? And all the negativity starts kicking in. You've got to get rid of that from you. So you've got to train a culture out of you. You've got to get rid of the negative culture out of you. And how do you do this? How do I do it, Dave? To break a culture, you've got to break it by repetition. That means doing something new over and over and over and over and over again, until the new thing becomes a new culture, which breaks and gets rid of the old culture. So you've got to brain train your brain to get negativity out of your system. And you've got to train your brain to have a culture where you always look in the positive, when you're always trying to find the positive out of any situation that comes your way. And my little tip for that is live life in the flip. If something bad happens, look for the good side of it in it and flip it. Go for the positivity. Head towards the positivity, because the positivity can be the light at the end of the tunnel. When you talk in the positive, you draw people to you. You instill some can-do into situation and dreams and plans. You can instill, when you talk positive, some will-do. So I'm going to get this done. You instill belief. And when you are talking in the positive to people, there is one person above all others that you have got to talk positive to. It's life critical. It's life critical to you that you talk positive to this person. And that person that I'm talking about is you. Because you've got two voices that you use. One's loudly, and sometimes you speak out loud to yourself when things are going wrong. That's when you mostly do it, especially with some fear or some failing crisis attached to something that's happening in your life. You just tend to talk out loud. I start talking to God when that happens. Please, God, get me out of this mess. But the most important voice that you've got is that other voice. It's the inner voice that talks to you constantly in your life. You've got to control that inner voice in you. You've got to make sure that it's only talking to you positive, because that inner voice can be your worst enemy or it can be your best friend, and you want it to be your best friend. And by helping it to be your best friend, you've got to make sure that it is always going to be talking to you in the positive, that it's always giving you confidence, it's always giving you belief, can do, and will do at all times. You've got to stand over that inner voice of yours to make sure that it's talking to you positively all of the time. And if it starts to go off track and starts talking to you negative, you've got to get a hold of that negative inner voice by the scruff of the neck, and you've got to squeeze it, and you've got to give it a really good and positive talk to always talk to you in the positive. Or as we say in the UK, you've got to get hold of that negative inner voice and give it a bloody good bollocking and remind it to be positive at all times. Here is some learning for you. You can never achieve if you don't believe. You can never achieve if you don't believe. You can never achieve if you don't believe. If you don't believe in you, trust me when I say this, nothing will ever work for you. So talk great stuff. Always talk positive stuff. On to the next category. We're now at 7 minutes 30. Whoa, still under pressure. Do great stuff every day. Here's another great piece of learning for you. What you put into life always comes back to you. You already know it. It's called karma. So for goodness sake, make sure that you are just putting great stuff out into life, because then all the good stuff's all just going to come back to you. Think about this. If you are an unhappy person, if you're a miserable person, if you is a person with an unpleasant misdemeanor, no one likes you, do they? And when you're not liked, you ain't happy. Because whether we admit it or not, deep inside of us, we've all got a yearning and want to be liked. Try this if you is one of those nasty, miserable people that no one likes. Even if it may seem a bit silly, even if it seems a bit cotton woolly or immature, just give this a try. Just do it. And even if you're not a really miserable person but you're unhappy, give this a try and gauge the results, because you have the power, believe this, to change your life for the better, to make yourself happier. You have the power to start making yourself feel better in the next single moment. You've just got to decide to go out into the world every single day, and I mean every single day, to do something nice, to go and help someone, to be of service, to give a service, to do a kindness, to make someone's day. Go out every day in the world to try to achieve this. Now, if you are a hard-bitten person, do you know what I mean by a hard-bitten person? A bit tough, who's had life grinding on them all the time, your response is going to be, oh, go and get stuffed. Not in this world. That ain't me. I'm not going to do that. You've got to be kidding. But, it's a big but, don't forget that your happiness is at stake here. So open your mind and give it a try. It's a scientifically proven fact. Do you know this? That when doing a kindness or survey or seeing someone else do something that's of kind, or of help to someone, it makes you feel good. and that releases serotonin in your body. And for those of you who don't know what serotonin is life's love drug. You can get that love drug for free. So when you do or see a great kindness, serotonin is released into your body and makes you feel good. So just go out every day and make someone's day. Just with a smile, just to say hello. Open the door for someone. Pick something up for someone who's dropped something. Give a kind word to someone. Be forgiving. That's the really big and hard one to do. Be forgiving. Give someone a little bit of your time. Go out into the world and give the best of you every single day. Do more than you're paid to do. Go the extra mile. Work on you every single day. Work on your mentality. Work on your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations every single day. Do this. Take the time to do it. When you put great thoughts, great stuff into your life will improve tenfold, because the great stuff you put out will come back to you tenfold. Lastly, the last category is hanging about with great people who do great stuff. These people don't have to be superstars. They don't have to be business leaders. They don't have to be rich or famous, because as we all know, many of these people can be absolute arseholes and they ain't happy either. When I say hang about with great people, I'm talking about hang about with people with integrity. People who do what they say, people who do the right thing. Hang about with people who will talk to you and set you up for success and positivity and greatness. Hang around with people who will add belief to you and to your dreams. Hang around with people who will make you feel good. Hang around with people who can inspire and who can motivate you. Hang around with people who will call you out when you take a wrong turn in, or when you're acting in a wrong way, and when you lose your integrity, because we all lose it at some time or one time or another. That's a big one. Hang around with people who will call you out when you let yourself down. Remember, winners hang with winners and losers hang with losers. So make sure you are hanging about with winners. And that means hanging about with great people who do great stuff. We're now at 12 minutes and 39 seconds. I could talk on and on and on and on and on about this because I just love it. If you are living a happy life, I'm living a happy life. Let me tell you this, it's a real beautiful thing. And that's if you know me, I'm a real old school person. I'm not really a person you'd imagine goes, it's a beautiful thing living happy with happiness in your life. But the fact is, I found it and it's true. If you aren't happy, here's a great message for you. You can go and find happiness. You can. You absolutely can. You just got to think about it and believe about it and take some action on it. Listen to this podcast. It's here for you. It's here to help you. If you need just a word, a sentence or a phrase that could maybe motivate you to start a journey to improve your life massively, to find success, to make your dreams come true, then listen, subscribe to this podcast. If you know of someone who might need a word, a phrase, or sentence, then share it with them as well, because I'll be eternally grateful. I'm now going to end up early. I'm now at 13 minutes and 35 seconds into this podcast. I just want to say to you, in closing, stay safe, because it's all getting a bit dicey at the moment around the world with all this COVID. So let's stay safe. And above all, I'll end as I always say, be happy. Because if you ain't happy, what's the point? So thanks for listening. Take care. I'll see you in the next podcast. It's now 40 minutes and 5 seconds and 6 seconds. Hope your ears ain't bleeding. Take care. Bye.